Hi, I'm dating expert Hayley Quinn, and it is my super pleasure and delight to bring you a new interview series that I'm doing, and this one is on mindset hacks. So if you're listening to this and you often have problems with self-expression, with connection, with limiting beliefs, with fears that basically hold you back from taking the action that you want in your life, then I would advise you to stay tuned. It is my delight and pleasure to be joined by an extremely wise coach who I have the privilege of working with on some of my training courses. He's also basically a dear friend and someone I would 100% ring up if I need advice, which does happen. It's Mr. Ashley Lloyd-Shaw.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Women just dismiss men all day long. That's all we, you know. And I think what's really important, because we work with both men and women with our training courses, is just like developing some compassion and some awareness of how the other person is feeling in the interaction. Mm-hmm. So for the guys, I mean, we could talk about what are problems that come up for women, because you'd think men would assume that women are living in this constant state of like dating abundance.
Yeah, one of my thoughts around that is, and this ties in with some of the kind of conditioning, social conditioning going around and all that as well. It's like, okay, if there was a social experiment that was done and a woman approached 10 guys and said, hey, do you want to go on a date with me or do you want to sleep with me? Most of the answers the response is going to be yes. Whereas if it's the other way around...
This experiment exists.
Yeah. Right? Most of the responses are going to be no. In that moment, at least, right? And what's my point about that? Let me make sure.
Conditioning.
Right, yeah. So, yes, even though women may have men approaching them or opportunities coming to them more often without them necessarily taking the action of having to go approach, whereas with the guy, it's generally the other way around again because of partly that conditioning, which is changing a lot nowadays, definitely. One thing to understand is, though, it's what is the actual abundance? Is the abundance of like, oh, I've got a few people who have shown up for me who I'm actually interested in, who I'd like to see, or is it that I've just got guys who I'm not really actually interested in, but
this is an awful thing. I'm going to make a confession.
Go for it.
I was once, it wasn't even that long ago.
Once upon a time.
Once upon a time.
This friend that I know.
It was a friend. Okay, it was a few of us. We were sitting there, and we read out messages from guys, but we replaced the content with, would you like to have some dick? So it'd be like...
Have you seen that Chris Rock stand-up?
Whoa, Bright Sunshine.
Chris Rock.
Oh yeah, that's I think it was a base.
Like
that. It's basically like, it's like, hey, so I was thinking maybe we could get together to talk about that business project. Would you like to maybe, I've got a free ticket to this. Hey, cute girl on Instagram. How does somebody say hello to a girl? It's just, it actually can feel like you're kind of bombarded, but not in a nice way sometimes. Sometimes it's nice, but other times it's not. Not nice. It can feel a bit like oppressive. So I think that makes women afraid to be more expressive sexually because it feels like, wow, if I put myself out there, I'm going to be probably judged socially, possibly negatively. And also the women that we work with a lot of the time, they feel like they've just been dating the same kind of guy, who is the guy that has approached them. But the guy that has approached them is not the kind of guy that they actually want to meet. And so now they're reversing it all around and they're thinking, well, if actually I need to take more agency for my love life, I need to go out there and start to learn how to connect with guys and be a bit more proactive because my current way of meeting guys of being passive is not bringing me what I want.
And screen the guys.
How do you know what he's thinking or feeling here? And what's the worst that can happen? Like you send him a message, he doesn't get back to you. Like, at least then you know. I'd rather know and go like, okay, he's not open to that, that's fine. I'm not going to even take it personally. And then move on to meet all of the other people you can meet rather than being like, oh, the man has to make every move. Like, I think that's not how dating is. I don't think it's how it ever was. And I think it's especially not how it is in 2018. Before we wrap, I want to give a quick shout out because you are head group coaching chat WhatsApp thread group message runner, and you're such an active coach with Academy. Academy is my our 12-week training course. We developed it because we wanted to give an option to guys that wasn't just 1 week, one intensive weekend, but to give weeks of development, because I think these skills and mindsets take time to implement. Ashley, you've been instrumental in both the live training, and we have live training options if you can get to London, or also we work with guys who are just doing the online only academy, and they are from literally all around the world. And Ashley is one of the guys that gets up early to do the group coaching call to Australia at 7 a.m.
It's such a real privilege, and it was never something that I was like, that's what I want to do, because acting is one of my main important things in my life. But this has been such a blessing that's also come up for me, and be able to work with people and support them and encourage them in basically in life and what they want. And and without maybe clients realizing it as well, I get a lot from it, from the sessions too as well, because it's a give and take, just from a different angle. So it's so rewarding.
And the guys we have are amazing. They're from all around the world. If you want to find out more details, I'm going to put a link to hayleyquinn.com/academy. We run 2-3 academies a year. They are getting really popular, so check it out. And also, Ashley, if you've loved hearing to his wisdom, and just his voice is quite nice. Ashley also has a podcast. Where can they find out about that? And I'll put a link beneath the video.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you can go to. Should I look at the camera? I'll just keep looking at you.
I don't know where we're looking.
Basically, you can go to jsaudios.com.